2 Minutes with the Devil by Matt Micheli. Coming June 2023 by D&T Publishing. It's the summer of '86, and school is out in the little Gulf town of Harbor Bluff. Maximum Overdrive is in the cinema. Rampage is all the rage at the arcade. And the only rule from parents is to be home in time for supper. Things couldn't be simpler or better, until kids began disappearing while playing a children's game called 2 Minutes with the Devil. This is a story that revolves around a group of friends whose lives go from bikes, treehouses, and first crushes to coming face to face with an unimaginable horror. One part Stand By Me, one part Stranger Things. 2 Minutes with the Devil is one hell of a fun, yet heartbreaking thriller, a throwback to when things were good and evil. "2 Minutes with the Devil" is a nostalgic throwback to '80s coming-of-age horror. The author captures the lifestyle and atmosphere of the '80s perfectly, and it was easy for me to identify with the characters. The story follows a group of roughly 12-year-olds. When missing children cases start building in their sleepy small town, they feel that they must band together and do something about it. But it may be too little too late. The book revolves around a Bloody Mary type game, 2 Minutes with the Devil, a plot that works perfectly with the group of preteens. This story was a fun read that harkens back to all the child-centered horror movies that we all know and love from the '80s. The story follows multiple point of views, so it's hard to nail down a specific main character. The majority of the story follows Fred, Max, and Michael as they go about their normal daily shenanigans around town during summer break. They keep coming up on missing flyers of a young girl, Tiffany, then days later another boy, Jesse. We get the impression that crime is nearly non-existent in their small town, so the news of 2 missing children sends shockwaves through the town, in both adults and kids. And those 2 cases are just the beginning. We get a great cast of characters in this story. Fred is the braggy, spoiled, rich kid. Max is the brainy, honor roll kid. Michael is the ever-faithful friend that seems to tie them all together, and even brings along a loyal dog, Hercules, and his first love interest, Alice. We even get a new kid in town, Philip. The kids are a bit stereotyped, but completely lovable in that same way. There's no doubt the writer was heavily influenced by '80s horror books and movies, if not influenced from living through those times as a kid himself. Overall, it was a great, fun read. Not too heavy, not too light. It's the perfect in-between read for horror fans of the coming-of-age genre. The only complaint I have is the jumping of point of views. In some cases, it is warranted and even necessary to progress the plot. But sometimes it happened within the same chapter, which was a little jarring as to who I was following. Emphasis on only a little jarring. Overall, it wasn't a big deal once I noticed it would be a reoccurring thing and was ready for it. This is very easily a 4-star read for what it is. Sure, it can be compared to many other books that follow preteen or teenager horror plots, but there's a reason those stories are so popular and endearing. 2 Minutes with the Devil fits well within that genre. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. It holds its own among more traditionally published works of the same vein, and anyone that loves those types of stories is sure to love this one. I know I did, and I would like to thank the author and the publisher for the opportunity to read this one before it was released. Let's keep this good streak going. Get ready for another Gothic review coming up soon. Until next time, find yourself a good book and enjoy a break from reality.